The first man is Noun Man. He can summon any noun into existence by saying it out loud. A gun, a tiger, a planet. If he can name it, it appears. The second man is Verb Man. He can perform any verb simply by speaking it. Run, teleport, kill. Whatever word leaves his mouth, his body, or the world around him obeys. The third man is Adjective Man. He can become any adjective. Strong, invisible, fireproof. If he can describe it, he transforms. But the rules are strict. Each man can only have one word active at any given time. Noun Man cannot summon a sword and a shield at once. He must unsummon the sword before he can bring the shield. Adjective Man cannot be both invisible and unbreakable in the same moment. He has to choose. And before any power can be triggered, the word must be spoken aloud. No silent activation, no mental switch. The word must leave the lips. Adverbs are forbidden. Only the pure noun, verb, or adjective counts. And critically, no man is allowed to use a word that makes him invincible. No immortal, no indestructible, no win. The fight has to remain a fight. So who wins? On the surface, it sounds like a stalemate. 3 godlike powers, 3 men in a field, all bound by the same restrictions. But once you look closer, the entire battle comes down to one thing: speed, and the strange physics of the English language. Let's start with reaction time. The average human reaction time is around 250 milliseconds. The average speaking rate is roughly 3 syllables per second. That means a 1-syllable word takes about 330 milliseconds to leave the mouth, a 2-syllable word around 660, a 3-syllable word close to a full second. In a fight where the first completed word decides everything, every syllable is a coffin nail. This is why Verb Man has a massive structural advantage. The English language gives him an arsenal of 1-syllable kill commands: die, burn, drop, stop. Each of these, spoken once, could in theory end the fight. Noun Man cannot match this. The shortest useful noun he can summon, say gun, still requires him to aim, pull the trigger, and hit. A summoned gun does not fire itself. He has to operate it. Adjective Man also struggles in pure speed terms, because most lethal adjectives are longer than 1 syllable. So in a pure speed contest, Verb Man wins, right? Not exactly. Because Verb Man has a hidden problem. The rules say he must declare his verb out loud, but verbs in English usually need a target. If he says kill, who exactly is being killed? Does the verb apply to him? To everyone in the field? Does the universe pick a target at random? This is the loophole his rivals can exploit. If Verb Man shouts kill, there's a real chance the verb turns inward and he drops first. The same is true for burn, fall, and explode. The most powerful verbs are also the most ambiguous. An ambiguity in a duel is suicide. Verb Man could try to be specific. He could shout, kill them. But them is a pronoun, not part of the verb, and the rules only let him use the verb itself. The moment he tries to clarify, he is breaking the contract of his own power. His safest verbs are also the slowest. Disappear, vanish, surrender. 3 syllables or more, long enough for either of the other 2 to act first. Speed and safety pull him in opposite directions, and there is no clean answer. This is where Adjective Man finds his footing. Adjective Man does not have to act on anything outside of himself. He only has to become something, and the shortest combat viable adjective in English is just 1 syllable: sharp, tough, quick, big. If he shouts big before the others can finish their word, he becomes a giant in a field of 2 normal men, and the fight is essentially over. Or he could say fast, gain superhuman speed, and close the distance to snap their necks before they finish their second syllable. He has no targeting problem. The adjective applies to him and only him. But Adjective Man has a ceiling too. He cannot use invincibility words. So immortal is gone, omnipotent is gone, unkillable is gone. He has to pick a useful but bounded adjective, and many of the truly devastating ones are exactly the ones the rules ban. What about Noun Man? Most people assume he is the weakest of the 3, and at first glance they are right. A summoned object is just an object. A summoned gun has no bullets unless he summons those 2, but he can only summon 1 noun at a time. A summoned car does not drive itself. His strongest moves all require multiple steps. But Noun Man has one secret weapon. He can summon living, thinking beings. He can summon a soldier. He can summon a tiger. He can summon, in theory, an entire army, one creature at a time. And unlike verb man's verbs, noun man's summons have their own will. They can take action without him directing every movement. This is also noun man's biggest danger. A summoned tiger does not know which of the three men is his master. A summoned soldier might turn the rifle on noun man first. A summoned wolf might attack the nearest target, which could easily be the man who created it. And every second he spends choosing the right noun is a second verb man could end everything with a single syllable. There is one creative path noun man could try. He could summon something environmental, a wall, a pit, a cliff. These nouns appear instantly, do not need to be operated, and could trap or separate the other two. He could summon water and drown them. He could summon fire, though fire is debatable as a pure noun. But every one of these options forces him into a multi-step plan, and his rivals only need one word each. So we have a triangle. Verb man has the fastest words but the most ambiguous targeting. Adjective man has the most reliable transformation but is locked out of the strongest words. Noun man has the most creative options but the slowest path from word to kill. Now add one more layer. These are 21-year-old men, average ones. Their vocabularies are limited to what an average 21-year-old actually knows in a moment of life or death panic. Rare, devastating words like annihilate, obliterate, vaporize may not even surface in their minds under stress. Under pressure, the brain reaches for the most familiar words: run, fight, hit, big, gun. Studies of high-stress decision-making show that complex vocabulary collapses in the first few seconds of a threat response. Instinct beats strategy. What does that mean? It means the first man to override panic and say a viable word wins. Not the man with the best plan. Not the man with the largest vocabulary, the fastest mouth. And here is where the math gets really interesting. If all three men start speaking at the exact same instant, the one who picks the shortest viable word lands first. Adjective man saying big beats noun. Man saying tiger by a fraction of a second. Verb man saying die might tie with both, but his ambiguous targeting could backfire and kill him instead. In repeated simulations of this fight, adjective man wins more often than anyone else, because his short adjectives are both fast and safe. He does not depend on a target, he does not depend on an object. He simply becomes. But there is one final twist. What if all three men think the same way? What if they all reach for the safest, fastest word at the exact same moment? Adjective man becomes big. Verb man says grow. Noun man summons a giant. Now three giants are standing in the same field and the fight resets at a new scale with the same rules, the same vocabulary, and the same problem. The cycle could, in theory, repeat itself forever. Three 21-year-old gods locked in an arms race of single syllables, growing larger and larger until the field cannot hold them. So, what is the real answer? In a single clean exchange, adjective man wins more often than not. He is the fastest reliable killer in the field. Verb man comes in second, undone by the danger of his own verbs. Noun man, despite having the most imaginative power, comes in last because creativity takes time, and time is the one thing nobody has. But the most fascinating finding is not who wins. It is that the fight between three godlike beings comes down, in the end, to the number of syllables in a single English word. The rules of grammar decide the outcome of the war. The shortest mouth shapes the universe. And in a world where any noun, any verb, and any adjective can be weaponized, the deadliest weapon is still the shortest one.